Good morning, everyone. Warm welcome to our Masters, Hualien Dharma team, and brothers and sisters around the globe to Saturday Hualien Dharma Talk. A very good morning. Let us start the session for today. Today, I would like to share a short excerpt from Master's teaching. Propagating the Dharma and benefiting living beings has immeasurable values. Thanks to the advanced technology of today, you can more easily portray your magical power and spread the essence of the Dharma more widely. Propagate the Dharma and benefit living beings by purifying minds. The value of life is immeasurable. There are many sufferings in the world, and it requires you and me. One kind words, one kind deeds after another. When everyone pulls their love together, the world will be peaceful. And now let us send our sincere prayers into the 10 directions. May the Saha land be free from disaster and peace prevails in the world. Let us sing the prayer song with sincere piousness.
In my heart, I feel deep gratefulness. All my heart is filled with sincere prayer. From all corners of the world, let us join our hearts and pray for a world of harmony and peace. In my heart, I feel deep gratefulness. May all the Buddhas hear my prayer. All united with one heart, let us end our hate with love. May there be no suffering hereafter.
May all minds be purified. May there be peace in the community. May there be no disasters in this world. Now let us together pray for universal love and blessings. With loving respect, gratitude, and confidence, let us wish every person in our life a healthy body, an enlightened mind, and a total fulfillment in universal love. Now let us expand this consciousness to include every person in the world, every being in the universe. Let our unified love make this wonderful world even better. Let us all immerse ourselves in the joyful embrace of universal love. Before we hear the wonderful sharing, let us invite our masters to lead us in paying homage to the Triple Gems. Let us pay our respect for these teachings and explanations to the Buddha and Master Cheng Yen by making 3 sincere vows. Please rise, palms together. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. And bow down to the word of the masters. Okay, today we have this part 2 of sharing from Professor He, the Tzu Chi path in the history of Buddhism. We will hand over to Sister Su Ching for the weekly summary before Professor He. Okay, Sister Su Ching, over to you. Ka'an.
Sister Lily. Yeah, okay. So a lot of sharers, just bear with me. This was last week. We had Sister Sharon. In 2023's end, Group 27 took their stand. Sister Sharon took in her lifetime a trip so grand, affinity sparked in 2021. Her benign skin in play, monthly recycling kits in tow, a humble start on the way. Retirement unveiled a purpose profound. To Tzu Chi's embrace in USJ, Sister Eunice she found. Vaccination duty in 2021 over the MCO was a pivotal part. A tempest dropped and compassion grew and a change in her heart. Sister Sharon, the 6 paramitas and 10 precepts are her guiding light. Driving to Penang's recycling duties was where her daughter's confidence took flight. Tzu Chi's platform for Tzu Chi is a platform for it is compassion's noble quest. Buddhism lessons are not tough, but actions the true test. Her home brother questioned, just volunteer, why join the clan? But she knew that continuous work is the necessary jewel in the plan. In Taiwan at last, but COVID struck whilst at commissioning's door. With abode masters and special moments, Sister Sharon was still focused and felt no sore. After commissioning at the abode, even with early rise, fatigue was laid to rest. Sister Sharon vowed to share master's teaching at every chance, at every test. In large groups, she felt united, spirit soar. Through each challenge, all volunteers could build on their strength and explore. Then we had Sister Shelley. Last Saturday, Sister Shelley was joyous to share how Master's Dharma through technology can be shared across the globe through the air. Master seemed frail, a need to lend a hand. This she felt and vowed, knowing in her heart she will do all she can. In Hualien, there were busy days, yet 5 meals to savor. Eating less is a habit she'll keep forever. Whilst volunteering in the abode, miraculously fatigue was not known. Such was soul's cultivation with team effort shown. It is true she experienced the path to liberation lies in the doing. With diligence, the soul's energy is renewing. Tzu Chi fosters empathy and gratitude's the key. Discipline and mindfulness whilst in uniform's dignity. Sister Shirley's home brother has changed and drinks no more. He has taken a vegetarian journey, a choice to adore. While she left Hualien, it was akin to departing her home. She vowed to return after much Tzu Chi activities that she will roam. And we have Sister Hui Yin. Sister Hui Yin is from Damansara Heights. Her given Dharma name means diligence, prudence, firm in light. From the beginning, in the parent-child bonding class, a lesson well known, that the change within herself was the start of seeds of wisdom sown. Sister Hui Yin has 2 daughters with diverse paths they tread. Concentrating on the good whilst ignoring the bad were the valuable lessons she had. In Hualien, at last, wrapped in volunteers' warmth, such a comforting embrace. Finally meeting the master and calmness finds its place. Taking on the 10 precepts as a lifeguard's guide, master constantly reminding us to be mindful in every stride. Tzu Chi is a platform to remind us of Buddhist teaching strong. A lesson she holds true is the graciousness blooms when irritation's gone. In the charity field, she extends her hand, benefiting others Herself she understands. The lessons learned in giving is a profound wealth. And Sister Hualien realized truly that indeed the person who benefited most is herself. And we had Brother David Liu with Q&A. For question 1, a commissioner's unwell, burden she won't bear. Doctors are puzzled, ailment's mystery is in the air. So Brother David Liu said, the less you do, the fewer blessings you will find. In actions, not wishes, true blessings will bind. Even online deeds or helping in the background, these are subtle art. Share and continue to connect like Master does to impart. In question 2, job loss with commitments weighing heavy on the heart. Find a new job or full-time in Tzu Chi is a choice to chart. And Brother David said, practicality calls. One must see their own finances in view. This is life's reality and responsibilities are true. It is balancing the path with a family and volunteers role. Seek the middle way for the sake of harmony for the heart and the soul. In question 3, while Tzu Chi urges thrift, yet uniform cost is high. Question 3 was a query on frugality and the reasons to untie. Brother David said, in the eyes of the beholder, cost is a matter of perspective. Tzu Chi headquarters guide prices. As such, the uniform's price is a directive. Tailors are Tzu Chi commissioners and they craft with care. The uniforms are rarely bought and vital for events we share. In question 4, cultivating impartiality is a challenging art. Past habits, attachments breeds bias from the start. And Brother David said, see through another's eyes, empathy's a start. Practice in Tzu Chi's activities to develop a compassionate heart. Understanding blooms when perspectives align. In shared deeds, compassion's seeds entwine. Okay, Kan for listening. I'll hand over right now to Sister Kathleen, is it? To
Yes.
bring the next.
Good
Thank you
morning,
so much.
sisters and brothers. Thank you, Sister Su Ching, for the wonderful summary of last week's sharing. And this morning, we have our Professor He with us. This is really a rare moment. And our Professor He is our Deputy CEO of Tzu Chi Philanthropy Foundation, and he's the initiator of Global Research Goodness Studies, which is a cultural carrier operated in the spirit of social enterprise. When I was going through Professor He's list of achievements and accolades, I was totally blown away. He has many accolades and achievements. He is the visiting fellow and scholar of many top universities in the world, including Harvard Kennedy School, Oxford and Cambridge, and of course, Tzu Chi University. Professor He is the author of many books. I believe the latest is actually The Economy of Goodness, the altruistic philosophy and practice of economy. And our Professor He was also the senior TV anchor and producer, actually, who won the Taiwan TV Golden Bell Award for many times. And his program, Great Love as Running Water, which depict the history of bone marrow transplantation, was selected as Best Documentary in Asia Pacific and Africa regions by Emmy Award International. And today we are really honored to have Professor He with us and to enlighten us on the Tzu Chi path in the history of Buddhism. And for those who have not heard Prof previously, he actually shared with us on part 1, and today is really part 2. So back to, without further ado, shall we have Prof to start the sharing? Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sister Pan, for this very important and also a remark yeah, for me. Thank you. And thank you, Brother Lee, to invite me to have a second sharing with all of you. So let me share the screen. I've been introduced the reason why Buddhism eventually declined in India. Let me catch up some good point so that we can continue our second part of the lecture. In the conclusion for my last lecture, the Indian Buddhism had neither established an ethic system of secular life, nor a socialized system of knowledge, and the constructive organization for lay follower. This is the reason for the decline of the Indian Buddhism. And it also lack of a connection of secular life and failed to establish a real world system. This is the main reason why Buddhism declined in India. And so what is the contribution of Su Ching for the historical development of Buddhism? I think Su Ching, the ideal developed the living Buddhism and humanize the Bodhisattva is a great ideal and contribute to the further development of Buddhism. And the Tzu Chi Merit Society, also called Tzu Chi Foundation, and the system of Tzu Chi Volunteer, established by the founder, Dharma Master Zheng Yan, over the past half century, is one of the most rigorous lay organization among ancient and contemporary Buddhist society. And this is true from the number of followers to the cohesiveness of the volunteer organization. Tzu Chi also strive to establish an ethical system for life of the lay people, including the famous 10 precepts of Tzu Chi. This is new development in the course of Buddhist history. So Tzu Chi idea is not merely give the Dharma, but to use the compassionate altruism of the Dharma to save sentient beings materially and spiritually, so that they can go from being recipient and to being giver to others eventually. Tzu Chi's vision is to achieve the fulfillment of body, material, and spirituality for the sentient being instead of just transmitting Dharma. And we will discuss this more in the last sections. Now we move to the second phase. We look at the Buddhism in ancient China. According to Arthur Wright, as a well-known scholar from Yale University, and he said the pure Buddhism adaptation to China was after the end of Eastern Han Dynasty and during the Wei Jing and Southern dynasties. At the time, each class found its foundation in Buddhism. In the case of the king, as these foreign emperors invaded China, we know Wei Jing dynasty, those king mostly from the north, we so-called barbarian emperors, they invaded the China, especially after the Jing. They did not want to rule by Confucianism, of course, because that was the Han system ideologies. But they also knew that the tribal system, which won the war, now but not could not rule China from the horse. They rode in horse to conquer China. They had to step down from the horse to rule China. But what's the system, culture system, to rule the whole China? So they did not want Confucianism, not only because it was the system of the old dynasty they have replaced, but because the use of Confucian, we have to involve the Confucian's entire family system. They do not, that could be detriment for the foreign rulers. Once you use one officials, the whole family will enter the dynasty. So that's not they want. So in that period, Buddhism provide the foreign emperors with an ideological basis for governance. Buddhism came from the West, and many of the monks were foreigner. The monks are single, they don't have a big family. So using them would not involve the nepotism behind them. Moreover, this foreign emperor considered themselves as a wheel-turning sage king, like the Buddha. So they are like the Buddha, they are the wheel-turning sage king. So the 5 Buddha of the Yungang grottos are the statue of the 5 northern Wei emperors. The Yungang grottos are the earliest Buddhist cave in China, where the Buddha was a prince, and this king looked the Buddha as their role model and claimed themselves to be the wheel-turning sage kings. On the other hand, some noble who immigrate to the south, from north to the south because of the war, but they remain wealthy in the midst of the war, so they believe that they were reincarnated as a great Bodhisattva who received great blessing from their past life, while the masses, the ordinary people, will suffer in the war and depressed, so that they expect the Pure Land in the afterlife. This is why Pure Land Buddhism emerged during the Jing dynasty, created by Master Hualien. Emperor Hualien was a very, very great teacher and very courage to defy the king. And Emperor Xuan Huang went to see monk Hualien, who, however, unwilling to meet the emperor and did not support the monk to pay homage to him. Hualien wrote an article saying why monks do not bow down before king, written by Master Hualien, offer a new kingdom of Buddha away from the worldly monarchy. It is a pure land for common people who suffer war, and for intellectuals who do not want to be subjected to a foreign emperors. They don't want to serve the foreign emperor. So now they go to temple. There's another worldly world that away from monarchy. So in contrast to the class regime and authority of Southern Buddhism, Buddhism in China moved toward living kingship. During the period of Wei Jing and the Southern and Northern dynasty, every class, from king, nobleman, to common people, all found life belonging in Buddhism. As the king, they believe they are, reincarnate to be a turning wheel sage king. Noble as a, very, very blessed Bodhisattva. And for the common people that's seeking for afterlife, the Pure Land. So every class found their life belonging in Buddhism. The king were reincarnated, wheel-turning sage king. The normal, great Bodhisattva, and a celestial being, and the common people play a Pure Land in the afterlife. This is important historical adaptation to Buddhism in China. But Buddhism was supposed to be in its heyday during the Tang Dynasty, because the Han ethnic returned to the monarchy, when it was truly integrated with commerce and the empire. Jinghua Chen from the UBC argued that the heyday of Buddhism reached its peak during the Wu Zetian dynasty. Wu Zetian devoted herself to Buddhism. Buddhism then, by virtue of commerce and empire, command a far-reaching influence. The Dunhuang grottos were built over centuries. The kilometers-long Buddhist cave symbolize Buddhism as supported by far-reaching commerce. Whether from the west or from the east, merchants pray here for the blessing of the Buddha and Bodhisattva in their journey, and a carved statue and murals were being grateful for their abundance. Buddhist temple accumulated so much wealth and incurred the jealousy of the king. Meanwhile, Confucian scholars learned the 4 book and 5 classic in Confucianism as a way to enter officialdom. Against such a backdrop, the restoration of Orthodox Chinese culture arose eventually, especially An Lushan rebellion. An Lushan actually from the west part of China. He was not considered a Han ethnic. He belonged to Western ethnics. So when he created rebellion and made the Confucian and the emperor wary of the country in the Western region that may intervene China's domestic affair. And An Lushan was from the Western country, and Buddhism comes from the Western region as well. So from the fear of Western power, convicting the Han land and the rejection of Buddhism become a catalyst for the revival of Han culture, which means Confucianism cultures. So in ancient China, there were 3 emperors who eliminated Buddhism, confiscated the temple properties, and returned a large number of monks and nuns to lay life, which did a great harm to Buddhism. From then on, Buddhism declined, together with the agriculture and with the lower and middle classes. Such a political climate, Master Bai Zhang founded the agricultural Zen so that he could live down on his own farming and be self-reliant, living a lifeline for Buddhism. Primitive Buddhism did not attach importance of farming because farming would kill, which is forbidden by Dhammagupta Vijayana. At the end of dynasty, however, in order to survive, Zen master Bai Zhang adapted Buddhism gradually to a way of Chinese organization. The precept set by monk Dao Xuan was still Indian style, Indian Buddhism style. But the precept set by Zen master Bai Zhang were a Chinese culture, including the abode in patriarchal system, in which the abode could even beat the bhikkhu when they make mistake. Just like a father beat the children, not because of the punishment, but because of love. But this is a very Confucius ideal, very, very Chinese culture, and bring the Chinese culture into the traditional Buddhism Sangha. So in the traditional Chinese thought, there were always a patriarchal ethic. Surely, the bhikkhu was not intended to oppression or harm, but was like a father teaching his children out of love. The Buddhist Sangha that absorbed Confucianism was fully established after Zen master Bai Zhang. Chinese Buddhism gradually moved toward agriculture and become uncoupled from commerce, a phenomenon that arose after the extinction of Buddhism. Zen Buddhism, like Buddhism, back to the primitive Buddhism path of self-cultivation, focused on inner insight and liberation. Agriculture and the Zen are combined. Zen is supposed to be a return to the self-cultivation and insight of primitive Buddhism, not relying on philosophy, knowledge, or scriptures, but on the intuitive illumination of self-nature in daily life and farming. So during the Ming Dynasty, especially after Wang Yang Ming, Buddhism declined even more. Why? Wang Yang Ming's philosophy of mind are closer to Buddhism. Actually, he absorbed Buddhist philosophy into the system of Confucianism. So that result of disappearing of Buddhist philosophy in China. So what Yang Ming say is start the thing and to acquire knowledge, to be sincere, and to have a rightful mind, represent the thought and self-cultivation of Buddhism. And to cultivate oneself is the common concept between Buddhism and Confucianism. And then he go on to raise one's family, to govern the country, and harmonize the world. Indeed, the Confucian wisdom of entering the world. So he put Buddhism upon the Confucianism and combined these two together. That caused disappearance of Buddhism in ancient China. So Wang Yangming incorporated Buddhism, featuring cultivating the mind into a Confucian system of entering the world, which led to the decline of Buddhism. So Buddhism was subjugated to the Confucian system. At the Ming Dynasty, the uneducated class entered the Sangha and gradually merged with the Taoist craft. The development of decline of Buddhism in China is the same as in India. The upper level of thought and spirit was Buddhism, but the enter to the world was in the hand of Brahmin in India. Now in China, they led the world to the hands of Confucianism. So, my brothers and sisters, have you learned upon this moment that Buddhism grant the power of govern the society in India to Brahmin, in China to Confucianism? Buddhism never tried to manage the secular world and provide the secular world an ethical system or knowledge system. They only seeking for self-enlightenment and inner cultivation, no matter it's in ancient India or in ancient China. That's the main reason why Buddhism declining in China and in India. So Buddhism lack of exposition and constructional knowledge of the world led to its eventually reduction to the supplementary system rather than a mentoring system. The single way of liberation in Buddhism did not enter the various fields of knowledge in society. It did not establish a dense, complex, yet deeply live social value system and knowledge system, including a religious practice system like Christianity, Brahmin, and the Muslim. For any reason to become a mainstream religion, the construction of comprehensive social knowledge system is necessary. Islam and Christianity have long established their secular knowledge and value system. In 9th century, Islam actually adopted Plato philosophy, Greek philosophy, to build the system of agricultural, legal system, economic system, scientific system, and medical system. So that's why the booming of Muslim in the West and in the Middle East in the middle centuries. And so is Christianity. Christianity continued to build a secular system after the Renaissance. Locke's natural human rights were taken from the Christian doctrine that under God, the Father is not superior to the Son. So the Locke replaced the personalized God with a natural God and transmitting it into a natural human rights. These constructs of the secular system did not appear or were not emphasized in the development of Buddhism. Buddhism was absorbed by Confucianism in this period, almost a complete abdication to Confucianism in the real world. That is why there's a saying that endeavor from Confucianism, retreat into Taoism, and decease in Buddhism, the ultimate belonging only. 进于儒，退于道，止于佛. When people face dying, they come to Buddhism. When they want to enter the secular world, they adopt Confucianism. When they think retire, they go for Taoism. When they're dying, they're seeking for Buddhism. So eventually, Buddhism belongs to the dying people, belong to the afterlife, not belong to this life. So the common people grew close to rituals, mysteries, charms, chanting, a more formalist part of Buddhism. This is undoubtedly a replica of Indian Buddhism. Buddhism in China declined after the Ming Dynasty in the Qing Dynasty. The Chinese intellectual ruled by Confucianism, and the common people in general turned to Taoist craft. In India, the upper class intellectual revere Brahmin, discernment, and in common people tend to Brahmin mysteries, incantation, and rituals. The decline of Chinese Buddhism repeated the fate of Indian Buddhism. And in India, I just say that. And when the temple Buddhism declined in Ming and Qing dynasties, their followers played a crucial role in reviving Chinese Buddhism in the late Qing dynasty. There's one gentleman called Yang Wenhui, become a pioneer of the Buddhist education in the 20th century, early 20th century. He saw the decline of Buddhism and decided to revive by printing the scriptures. So in 1908, Yang Wenhui founded the Jetavana Hermitage, which became the first new Buddhist education school in modern China and had a significant impact on the development of modern Buddhism. It is very interesting that the revival of Buddhism in recent centuries actually initiated by a lay person instead of by a monk. During the period, he still cultivated more than 10 monks and the lay elites, such as Master Tai Xu actually was studied at his school, and also Liao Wu master, and a very great scholar Ouyang Jingwu, and the master Qi Yun, and very well-known politician Tan Citong, and very well-known scholar Zhang Taiyan, all studied in Yang Wenhui's Buddhist school. So in 1910, Yang Wenhui founded the Buddhist Research Society at the Jilin Sutra Publishing Office, bringing together elite and led the foundation for modern Buddhism in China. In the early 20th century, Master Taixu advocated Buddhism for life. It was at the time of the Japanese invasion of China, when the people were being ravaged by war. Master Taixu advocated that Buddhism should also think about the way to survive and save the country. The word life is used to respond to the long-standing misunderstanding of Buddhism as only talking about extinction and emptiness. The word human responds to the parochial folk Buddhism practice to emphasizing ghosts and God. The meaning of life responds to the impression that Buddhism only provides liberation from death, refuting the misconception that to study Buddhism is to study death in the late traditional Chinese Buddhism. Master Taixu advocated a more active involvement of Buddhism in social system reform and a shared responsibility of Buddhism for the suffering of the nation. Aftermath, Master Ying Sun was strong advocate of all Buddha come out of the human world and have now become Buddha in heaven, as held by the Ekotarika Agama, which state that the way to Buddhahood lie in this life and in this world. Humanist Buddhism proposed by Master Ying Sun, which is also the fundamental teaching of Mahayana Buddhism, emphasizing the unity of interdependent arising and the immanence of nature, which not only do not contradict each other, but depend on each other. Arising and emptiness, which is interconnected. So Master Yin Sun also advocated that the Bodhisattva complete self-benefit with altruism. Before one can save oneself, he said, one must first save others. And there, the Bodhisattva began to develop his vow. The Bodhisattva is born out of great compassion and remain good ever. Great compassion is the rule. Secular wisdom and wisdom of the emptiness are all cultivated through compassion. A sutra of infinite meaning say, though a bold man is sick, but his bold could be strong enough to ferry people. The bold is Buddha's teaching. Even though the bold man is not yet attained enlightenment, he would have reached the other awakening shore along with the passengers when the boat reached the shore. The altruistic path of Buddhahood is the characteristic of humanistic Buddhism advocated by Master Yin Sun. Let's come to Venerable Yin Sun's disciple, Dharma Master Zheng Yan. The era in which Master Zheng Yan lived was much more stable than the Master Tai Shi and Master Yin Sun and the Master Xu Yun. In 1966, Master Zheng Yan founded this Su Ching Foundation in Hualien, a remote area in eastern Taiwan, in the hope that Buddha, four immeasurable mind, compassion, mercy, bliss, and giving, would help pain removing, promote social peace, achieve happiness, and the purification of human mind. At the time of her convert, Master Yin Sun encouraged Dharma Master Zheng Yan to bear in mind for Buddhism and for sensual being. Master Zheng Yan said that these six words were the spirit and goal of her lifelong endeavor. Master Zheng Yan's view of social reform emphasized that the Pure Land is in the human world and at hand. Nirvana is the present moment. Enlightenment is in the present mind. And purity is in the present good deeds. So she emphasized altruistic action in which the true meaning of life is rooted. As Dharma Master Zheng Yan said, the sutra is the way is the path, and the path must be walked upon. Master Zheng Yan promoted the Jingshi lineage, which believed that diligent practice and purity of mind is the way to enlightenment. The path of Su Ching Buddhism must be with compassion for the benefit of the human world. She and her monastic disciple are self-reliant and do not take offering from themselves, but devote themselves to the masses and help all sensual beings. This is an example of Buddhist practice of self-saving and saving others. Saving means enlightenment. The establishment of Su Ching School Buddhism provides a new path for Buddhist social improvement and salvation on earth. The promotion of Su Ching formation and 8 footprints has allowed people to move from charity good deeds to all deeds of goodness, allowing the Buddhist philosophy to connect directly with professionalism in the contemporary society and make a substantial impact. With this Buddhist foundation, Su Ching has appropriately incorporated with the spirit of Confucianism and Western scientific rationality, and is thus able to adapt to social and transform the modern world to a certain extent while promoting the socialization of Buddhism. So let me repeat again. The path of Buddhism, based on Buddhism teaching, as well as adopt Confucianism and also absorb the Western scientific rationality, so that there's a 3 pillars join in Su Ching path of Buddhism, so that they can apply to the whole world, become a universal value, a universal system. In the book Democracy Dharma, published in 2007, Professor Richard Manison from UC San Diego commented on the significance of the Tzu Chi to contemporary Buddhism, that Tzu Chi is one of the important force in the Renaissance religion in Taiwan. Master Yin Sun said primitive Buddhism did not attach importance to material improvement. Tzu Chi had developed four missions: charity, medical, education, and humanity, environmental protection, all which are rooted to improve the life of human world. This is one of the influences of Tzu Chi on the historical development of Buddhism. Richard Gombrich, the founder of the OCBS, Oxford Center for Buddhist Study, said that Tzu Chi turned laity into a kind of Sangha. Master Cheng embodied the idea that all sentient beings can become Buddha and that all human beings can be sage, as Confucianism highly expected. The monetization of lay follower is an important creation of Tzu Chi, and for Master Cheng Yen, it means that the idea of humanizing the Bodhisattva, I think that this is the second contribution of Tzu Chi on the historical development of Buddhism. The third influence of Tzu Chi is the establishment of ethical system for lay people. The traditional Buddhism lacked a system of ethic for lay people. Tzu Chi Buddhism established the ethic and ritual for monastic life and the 10 precepts of Tzu Chi for lay people, a combination of the 5 precepts of Buddhist tradition and other principles and the rituals of life adapted to the modern society. This is the beginning and the foundation of the Buddhist teaching to establish the ethic of lay people. But in the future, when the time is ripe, where Tzu Chi, like a Catholic and ecumenical council, establish a complete Tzu Chi canonical code for every aspect of life, an ethical system of self-restraint, and with the communal covenant. This is not certain yet at this moment, but we need to do that to establish the comprehensive Tzu Chi code for every Tzu Chi member to follow. And that's very important, like a canon law of Catholic. But we haven't accomplished this stage yet. Tzu Chi need to develop an ethical code of life for monastic master and the lay follower. The canon law of the Catholic Ecumenical Council has a strict system of regulation for the Pope, Bishop, priest, nun, and faithful lay people in general. I think that when the time is ripe, Tzu Chi may build a Tzu Chi canon law assembly to discuss the system of organization, the mechanism of decision-making, the order of life, and the ethical system for various practitioners. But we haven't come to this stage yet. But we have to do that, I believe. So, 3 contributions Tzu Chi had made is that transfer the focus from inner enlightenment, from away from worldly material well-being, and we turn our focus to the second world, to provide altruistic action to reform the society, and also through altruism, we reach the enlightenment. That's the first contribution. Second, we provide and organize a very, very well-established layperson organization. And then thirdly, we provide the ethical code for lay follower, but not yet completed. Not yet completed. So there are 3 pillars to build the foundation of Tzu Chi Buddhism, which must include the philosophical system, the organizational system, and the way of practice Dharma to reach ultimate enlightenment. These are three pillars we have to establish. Philosophy, including master's teaching, the history of Tzu Chi that we are doing now in my department. For the organizational system, we have not yet discussed. And according to Sister Pan, my recent book, Economic Goodness, actually is not the recent book. The recent book is Governance Based on Goodness. I just published it in Taiwan in the last August, which describes quite comprehensively on what we should do to reconstruct Tzu Chi's organization, especially for the wrong system that promoted by Master Zheng Yan back to 2007. Wrong organization. How can we establish a wrong system in Tzu Chi? 立体流离同心圆. And that, in my book, Governance Based on Goodness. I have a quite comprehensive description and design for the future structures of Tzu Chi organization, but we haven't yet reached that stage yet. And thirdly, inner cultivation. What is the way of Tzu Chi to reach the Buddhahood, step by step? And how the way of altruism can reach the enlightenment, we haven't established and summarized yet. So we hope that we can organize a small team, both Dharma master, pure practitioner, and lay follower can join together to really look at the Master Zheng Yan's teaching and summarize his teaching. How can we can practice by altruism, eventually reach the ultimate enlightenment? How can you practice giving? How can you practice tolerance? How can we practice diligence? How can we practice meditation? How can we practice different virtues? That has been taught by Master Zheng Yan, but we have not yet to summarize it, to well organize this Bodhisattva way, and eventually can attain the Buddhahood. Attain the Buddhahood not by Zen's way, not by Pure Land, not by Tibetan Buddhism, but by Tzu Chi's way. But we haven't established this system yet. So there are three pillars build up the foundation of Tzu Chi school Buddhism, which must include the philosophical system, the organizational system, and the way of practice Dharma to reach ultimate enlightenment. These three pillars go hand in hand. The philosophical system of Master Zheng Yan is the fundamental to Tzu Chi school Buddhism. The practice of Tzu Chi Buddhism must enter the world and does not leave the world. Thus, Tzu Chi must balance its public characteristic and religious aspect. The challenge of Tzu Chi Buddhism is it must integrate its position as a public charity with the religious orientation. The former embodies the latter, and the former is met through the latter. Public interest and religious practice must combine together. We should not go to secularize, but we should not go to too much inner religious practice and ignore the public interest. These two must be balanced. So I believe that the church is still in the process of constructing these three goals. We are still on the way, but we don't know whether we can accomplish these three goals. And we have to quick because Master has getting ages. So in the fourth Tzu Chi Forum held in 2016, Master Zheng Yan explained the meaning of the Tzu Chi school of Buddhism. She said, in the 51st year of Tzu Chi, the official transmission of the Jing Shi Dharma, as well as the official establishment of Tzu Chi path. The Tzu Chi school of Buddhism has been formally established in October of this year, 2016, and an international forum is held to establish the Tzu Chi sect and to make a statement. So according to Master Zheng Yan, Tzu Chi school Buddhism being well established in 2016. And from Master Zheng Yan, her own word, she said that this is the moment we announce the Tzu Chi school Buddhism to the whole world. But in 2006, she announced it to the internal member. And 2016, 10 years later, we announced it to the external member, to the whole world. So the participants were all religious figures, she said, and professor of international renown from the United Kingdom, Oxford, United States, mainland China, Indonesia, Thailand, Nepal, Buddhism, Catholic priests, and Islam were all present. I was really grateful to hear them talk. Master Zheng Yan said they all had a good command about Tzu Chi, and they all were positive about Tzu Chi school of Buddhism. So now I want to say to you that this year, Master Zheng Yan said, 2016, mark our official establishment of the Tzu Chi school of Buddhism. We are not a Pure Land sect or Zen sect. If someone asks us what sect we are, we say Tzu Chi sects of Buddhism. So the Tzu Chi Buddhism practice is Dharma in the real world, Master Zheng Yan said, and all it must be diligent. Master said, Tzu Chi has taken the way of great love for 50 years and will continue so forever. As I suggested, the decline of Buddhism in India and China is due to the lack of secular knowledge system, a complete ethical code of secular life, and a rigorous organization of lay people. So, from my observation, the ideal of Tzu Chi Buddhism is to strengthen the Tzu Chi discourse, to achieve universal value, and to establish a model of civilization. Tzu Chi and the future Buddhism must continue to develop a comprehensive knowledge system that applies Buddhist philosophy to every professional field, the mind including economy. So that's why I write economic goodness, governance. So that what I write, the governance based on goodness, they are all rooted in Tzu Chi Dharma, in Buddhist Dharma. And I'm continuing to seeking for technology, how Buddhist philosophy, how Master's teaching can apply to modern technology and philanthropy, medicine, humanity, education, art, communication, environment, and so on. Every secular field can adopt Tzu Chi's Dharma or Buddhist Dharma. But that's the way Buddhism can flourish. So economic goodness, governance based on goodness in my recent book, and also my recent book, the Tzu Chi Study, the essential of Tzu Chi Study. That's all cultivate and development of secular knowledge based on Buddhist teaching and Master Zheng Yan's teaching. So second, to build an ethical system for the lay follower and practitioners. And third, well organize its follower so that can adapt and saturated by the modern world. And this is very important for Tzu Chi and the future of Buddhism. Accordingly, the future Buddhism must develop a universal value, a new form of belief system that create a new civilization and a way of human life. That will be all. Thank you so much.